Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is Sunday, July 10th, 2022. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Hope you all are checking out the Trader Lion conference this weekend. It's actually been amazing, and it'll be going on next weekend too. Visit traderlion.com and you can figure out, the conference. It's all free, so check that out if you want to. And also, even more exciting is Stan Weinstein, the guy who really introduced me and developed stage analysis, in for the masses, is doing a masterclass with Trader Lion. If you're interested, traderlion.com, Stan Weinstein, stage analysis. I know there's an early bird pricing on this, so check it out if that interests you. But again, Stan Weinstein is the guy, right? So it's a primary source. We don't always get to interact, talk to, learn from primary sources. That's why this is such a big deal. All right. So it's going back here. And let's talk markets. So the Qs had an amazing week last week. Going to the weekly, it was up 4.69%. And so maybe next week it needs a little bit of a rest before it can pop through the 300 level. We'll see. Maybe just go straight up, maybe not. But I do like the higher low. That being said, let's look at some potential setups, okay? So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 names, right? Let's dig in. First one, PLTR. Really like how this is emerging from the downtrend line, and these moving averages are starting to line up. You can see the 200 is still declining pretty strongly, but you know what? It's a 50% move between here and the 200-day moving average. So that's not a bad move, right? So that one looks pretty good. Path. Again, trying to make this bottom here. So far, so good. I like how the 50 days is starting to curve back up too, and it really hasn't broken out. That's a nice looking chart right there. S, which is Sentinel 1, came down, is chopping around, but look at all this accumulation going on in the base. That looks really good. And now these moving averages are starting to cross in a bullish way. Looking, how many days is it since the waterfall type event? Okay, so 41 bars, so another week and a half, 2 weeks, and we're going to get a very, very flat to rising 50-day moving average, which is what we want to see. Next up is IoT. Again, this one, kind of came up fast and is kind of extended. I would like actually to see this pull back a little bit and then break out. That'd be the better path, I think, for that one. NOVA. It's a solar stock. We've talked about this one before. Lots of accumulation happening in the space. 50-day is starting to turn back up again. And you do have a declining 200-day right at this area right there. So again, no, I think I'd like to see this through this area better, but there's a lot of room from this point. 16, 17%, 19%, whatever. Looks pretty good there. SGFY. So again, downtrend line, here's your IPO, trying to break through it. I like how it's starting to kind of consolidate here. We'll see if it continues to move sideways or what it does at this point, but it's above, all of its main moving averages. And now you got the 50-day flat and it's above the 200. So we'd like to see that. BMVL, Bumble. Back above its 200-day, just barely, but it's there, rising 50-day. This is crossed, and you got a nice base showing up. Lots of accumulation in here, something that we really like to see. So, nice place to manage risk. You manage against the 200-day. You could, this may need to build out to go sideways for a day or two, or even a week or two, before it breaks out, and that'd be fine. Let the moving averages catch up. CXG. again, underneath the 200-day, which is declining, but you're starting to see this bullish cross. And, I could probably put, this being a resistance area right here. It looks like a double bottom to me. So as soon as these moving averages maybe catch up, I think that this could be a go. Again, it may take another week or so. It could be later this week. We don't know, but it looks pretty good. Also, just know your earnings dates. This has it as August 3rd, but we are starting to enter earnings season, so be careful. SHLS, nice little inverted head and shoulders that's trying to make, won't confirm until it's above this, $23 or so area. But all in all, pretty good looking base that's making right over here. So it's something to watch. SHLS, DOCN. Again, we can see how, it kind of peaked over here at 133, and looking on this side of the base, it came down. This has been important in the past. We'll see if it's important again. It was recently. Here's a downtrend line, and I do like this accumulation that's showing up on this side of the base as it's moving out here. So that looks pretty good. DOCN, DH. Here's double verify. I'm sorry, not double verify. DH, which is definitive health. Again, has a very defined area, declining 200-day, which is just now showing up on the chart. And it's kind of extended, but your 50-day is starting to curve back up. And so it may need a little bit more time, but then there's your 200-day right overhead. So if it can move sideways and then get above that 200-day, I like the breakout here. DH, FRSH. Just got back above the 50-day. Love this bullish cross. Looks like it wants more to go higher. That's FRSH, a newer name for me. DV, which is double verify. Again, I like how the 50-day is starting to move back up, and we've just had about 4 days of kind of consolidation. And look at that lower volume, very nice right there. So that looks pretty good. That's DV, INFA. I mean, what a perfect little base right here, right? And you got higher lows each time. And maybe it needs to pull back one more time, maybe not. But INFA definitely making its first real IPO base. So definitely one to watch there. I love that on the breakout above 22-ish or so, right? So it's not that far away. SWAV, Shockwave, and there is your kind of trend line right there. Good accumulation. So here's the thing. And I like the way this is consolidating, moving sideways, but it's starting to get a little bit loose in here. So you just have to be careful with, just that looseness of it. Outside day, inside day, outside day. So it looks good. Just be careful for the volatility. What else? GitLab, GTLB. Beautiful look right here. Nice spread out. I mean, again, it may need to come back or move sideways to let this 50-day really start to move higher. But that one looks really nice over there. And then AMN is my last one here. Again, you see a nice move up. And again, Shockwave, just kind of moving sideways, but maybe a little on the volatile side, right? So just to be careful. But it is above its 200-day. And you have a rising 50, and the 200-day is now flat, and it's all coming together nice. So just be careful that to avoid these types of days, right? And we get this nice tighter action like we see on this side. Okay, couple from last week. Just wanted to show you on the weekly. We talked about EVH last week. That was up 7.5%. I talked to MCK last week. That was up only 0.5%. PRVA, I mentioned last week. That one was up 16%. HRMY last week. That one was up 5.29. Again, remember 4.5 or so is what the NASDAQ was up. SWAV was on last week's. That was on 2.21 up. DH was on last week's. That was at 8%. AMN was on last week's as well. That was down 1.36. Just to finish up what was on last week, Lamb Western 4.58, IOT was on last week. That was up 17.43. Nice shot right there. GitLab was on last week's as well, 6.38. CELH was on last week's. That one was up 18.94%. Go Grocery Outlet was on last week's. That was up 1.84%. Ali was on last week's. That was up 16%. I had Queb on last week. That one was down 3.22%. And it had XBI on last week, and that was up 10.31%. Overall, pretty good picks last week. Hopefully we get some really good ones this week as well. Some of them were repeats. Some of them are brand new. Some of, I just caught on new scans. But anyway, hope this helps. Also, if don't forget, like and subscribe. Again, that's important to me. Trader Lion Conference going on this weekend. Learn something. It's all being recorded too. Go to their, I guess, Twitter page or website or whatever, and check that out. And then if you're interested in the Stan Weinstein masterclass, which I'm really excited for, because Stan Weinstein himself, right? You just don't get that very often. So check all that stuff out. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Y'all take care. Bye.